Hey everybody, Steve here. Welcome to the video. Today is October 8th, 2020. Just a mere 48 hours after the passing of the late great Eddie Van Halen. So I'll pay homage to him for a second here. Many of you know him as the amazing guitarist of Van Halen, arguably one of the greatest guitarists that ever lived. But many of you may or may not know about his impact on guitars themselves. He's the one that changed the landscape when he cross-pollinated a humbucker pickup from a Les Paul with a Fender Strat and came up with the guitar that you see here in the foreground called the Franken Strat. But that's not why you're here. We're going to pay homage to Eddie, but that's not why you're here. You're here because you want to know a little bit more about the DJI Mavic Air 2 and how to get better footage. All right, so let's go look at the reason why I'm making this video in the first place. The reason why I'm making this video in the first place is because I got an email a couple days ago from a guy by the name of Charlie. Charlie says, "Hey Steve, I saw your beginner's drone video and I have a question. How did you get such great footage from your Mavic Air 2? I am very frustrated with mine because all of my footage seems dull and washed out. Can you help?" Charlie. And the answer to your question, Charlie, is I can most definitely try. The footage that Charlie's talking about is probably something that looks along the lines of this. This was a piece of footage from the other video, and if you can tell, the sky's kind of all blown out. The darks are all kind of muddy and kind of gross and stuff like that. And there's real, I mean, it looks okay, but there is a reason why this looks the way it looks. And we're going to go into the DJI menus, and I'm going to show you why. All right, so I've got my Mavic Air 2 fired up, and what you're looking at here is obviously the software, the DJI Fly software. And what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to Go Fly. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab these three little dots way up here in the right-hand corner. And I am going to go to the camera settings. And here are my camera settings. My camera settings are set to MP4. And my color is set to DeCine-like. My coding format is H.265, and blah 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 blah. I think that's pretty much it. That's the main stuff. If I'm outside shooting in the sun, I never use automatic white balance. It's just too unpredictable. If it's a nice sunny day, I just go ahead and throw it in a manual, and I shoot at 53K. So there's that. And I think that's pretty much it. But let's focus on Charlie's question. Charlie's question is that his concern is that his stuff is always washed out and ugly. And I do not remember what the default setting is for these things, but I'm going to go ahead and wager a bet. And my bet is that you're shooting in DeCine-like. And the thing about DeCine-like is it is actually meant to be bland and washed out. And the reason for that is because the whole purpose of DeCine-like is that it uses what they call a lookup table, or a LUT. And that LUT contains a mathematical formula for modifying an image according to DJI's website. So essentially what they're assuming there is if you want to use a LUT and you're shooting in DeCine-like, it means that you are interested in going the extra mile and doing some post-production. And that is why I shoot in DeCine-like. I have access to LUTs that will allow me to color grade my footage and make it look that much better. And the good news is that I'm not special. You have access to these LUTs as well, and I'm going to teach you exactly how to do it. All right, so if we look at the DeCine-like footage, as you can tell, it's not much to look at. Of course, the room is a mess, but anyhow, look how washed out and crappy that looks. But by way of comparison, if we were to go back and we were to shoot at normal, and we were to come back, you can see that it's more colorful, it's more saturated, and everything like that. But this shooting format is not going to give you the freedom to do post-production color grading as would the DeCine-like. Going back here. All right, so that's the difference between those. All right, so let's take a look at the coding format. H.264 versus 265. 265 is a more modern, up-to-date coding format than its brother, the 264. If you're shooting in 1080, just leave it at 264. It's fine. If you're shooting in either 2.7K or 4K, and you have the computer processing power to handle it, then go ahead and shoot in H.265. I'm not going to get into all of the details about that. That's just the general guideline. I could spend 5 minutes talking about the difference, but maybe that's another video. Maybe that's just information you can find elsewhere. So it's important for me to mention that if you have no intentions on doing any post-production, it is important for you to shoot in normal mode, as it will give you the best results out of the box. All right, so I'm going to show you the end game here. This is a little side-by-side comparison. On the right-hand side, it's just right out of the box, DeCine-like. And on the left-hand side, it's the same footage after I color graded it. So if you're interested in learning how to go from the before to the after, stick around for the rest of the video. So let's get to the next step. How do we color grade this stuff? All right, so if you're still with me, that means that you are interested in getting the most that you possibly can out of your video content, which is, it's a wise decision because the Mavic Air 2 shoots such beautiful footage. Why not take it all the way? So what you're looking at here is something called DeVinci Resolve. It's free, folks. It's free. You just go to this URL right here, blackmagicdesign.com/products/DaVinci Resolve, and you come down here to the download button, and you click on the download button, and then you come and you pick whatever your operating system is, and you click on that button, and then you fill out the form. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, it's worth it. It is worth it. Fill out the form, give them your information, register, download the software. Highly, highly recommend it. Let's go take a look at the software. Okay, so once you have downloaded DaVinci Resolve and hit the little icon on your computer, then you select New Project, and basically I'm one step past the New Project window, and you're going to see a whole bunch of stuff here. And I just want you to don't be intimidated by all this stuff. Not that big of a deal. You do not have to learn everything on day one to effectively use the software. As a matter of fact, the way I'm going to teach you how to do it, I'm just going to teach you a shortcut, super fast shortcut, that's just going to get you from A to Z. And then after that, you can tweak to your heart's content. But here's the key to DaVinci. All right, if you look down here at the very bottom where it says Media, Cut, Edit, Fusion, Color, Fairlight, and Deliver, what you want to do is this is your workflow. And we want to start with Media. We want to start from the left and work our way to the right. And what I've done is I've actually already selected, because it took me a while to figure the exact cuts so that I wouldn't waste time during the video, I pre-selected a few shots here, okay? And what I did in order to get these shots here was, number one, you could either go through your hard drive up here and you can select them. Easy to do it that way. Or you could just come down here, right click, and say Import Media. And then it's going to say, where on your hard drive would you like to import the media from? You make the selection and you click OK or Open, and then boom, your media appears here. So what the Media tab is exactly that. It's select the media that you want to use. Once you've selected the media that you're ready to use, you can move on to Cut. And that's what I'm going to do. All right, so now I'm on Cut. And what I did, like I said, in order to save time, I've already kind of dragged and dropped some of this stuff down here, but I'm going to go way down here to the end of a timeline. Essentially what I did, and all I did, was from our pieces here, I just grabbed it, brought it down here, and dropped it, okay? And then it's very intuitive. I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. For those of you who are really good at DaVinci, I'm not. I am not. I am a complete beginner at this. I only know how to do what I'm teaching you guys how to do right now. So by no means am I an expert. And if you are an expert and you're watching this video and you know of a way to do it better, please just be nice about it and speak up in the comments. Share the wealth. Share your knowledge. That's what this is all about. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to delete that piece because I've already dropped my pieces in here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Edit. And I'm going to click on Edit. And now with Edit, you can start to see some of, if you're familiar with an NLE, you'll probably recognize some of the things here. Time edit mode, there's a trim mode, the blade. That's my favorite, is the blade. Let me just give you a quick example. Say, for example, we have this cut right here. We want to put him right there. We can go like this, shorten it, lengthen it, shorten it, whatever. All right. Next thing we can do is you can scrub through your footage, okay, to see what footage you're getting. And then once you select a specific piece, like, well, I know I don't want this part right here because that's not the sun at all. So I might be able to just go right here. And then I'm going to grab my favorite tool, which is the blade. And I can go ahead and click right there. And then I can go back to the arrow, go like this, be done with that piece, and slice and dice as I see fit. This is not supposed to be a DaVinci how-to video, okay? I just want to show you what I want to show you and get in and get out, and hopefully keep this video as short as possible, all right? So this piece is just an example. So now I'm down essentially to the two pieces that I want to show you how I edited when I edited for the other video that prompted Charlie's email in the first place. All right, so these two pieces right here are the pieces of film that came straight out of the camera in DeCine-like, and this is before any color grading whatsoever. I'm going to go ahead and skip Fusion right now. Let's go to the next step, which is very important for the purposes of this video, which is the color. And I've got this clip right here, and this is about a 5-second clip, maybe a little bit longer. And if you recall, this is the one with the blown out sky and the muddied area right in here. And let's go ahead and fix that. And you see all of this crazy stuff right here, and you may have never seen any of this stuff before, and scopes and parade and oh my goodness, and waveform and vector scope and histograms, and oh my goodness, it's so confusing. But don't worry about it. Don't you worry about it. All you got to do to get a huge jump on color grading is come up here to LUTs. Remember we talked about LUTs earlier? This is why we shot in DeCine-like anyway. Click on LUTs. All right, mine's already selected for DJI. This is a DJI Mavic 2, and check this out. All you need to do is just mouse over a couple of these things, and it will change your image. Look how it changes the image from this one right here over to this one. Look how blown up the sun is right there, right here, different, right here. These are different LUTs, and basically what you do is you pick one that is appealing to you. For the purposes of my other video, I'm pretty certain that I went with this one right here, and I'm going to click on it. See, I clicked off of it. And also keep in mind that you've got LUTs for Aces, Airy, all these things. Blackmagic Design, you got a gazillion of them. I mean, you basically, it's a matter of preference. You just go through here and you pick one that you like, okay? And there's lots and lots and lots and lots of them. I happen to like one of these DJI LUTs, which is this one right here. And once I click on it, you can get a feel for what mine's going to look like. So now that I've made my selection, I can come down here, and if you select log, the reason why I like log is because I understand how to manipulate shadow, midtones, and highlights. And I'm going to mess with the shadow. Remember earlier I said that it was kind of muddy in that area earlier? Well, I can make that dark. I usually like to have my blacks nice and black. And then the midtone, do I want to do anything here? I don't necessarily need to do anything there. You can kind of see what it does to the water when I mess with it. I'm going to take the highlight down a little bit so that I can take some of that blowout out of the sky. It's just a matter of playing until your personal preference is, until you like it. Go back to edit, come back over here, select the other clip, and then go back to color. And what can we do with this one? Well, the first thing I want to do is I'm going to apply that LUT. From color, I'm going to go straight to deliver, which is right here. And then up in the upper left-hand corner, I select custom. I give it a name. I tell it where I want to put it. I tell it I want a video. I select a format and a codec and a resolution and all the rest of this stuff right here. And then I'm going to add to render queue, and then boom, and it pops over here. And then all I need to do is hit start render, like so. And it's going to render my footage and create a file. All right, so now I got my file in my file. I'm going to go ahead and hit Final for Video. And all right, so here we are, the side-by-side comparison of the pre and post on the color grade. So if you don't mind doing the work, please feel free to use DeCine-like and do the color grading. If you don't want to do the color grading, then shoot in normal mode, and you get somewhere in between. Anyhow, I'm Steve. I'm getting ready to sign off here. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, and all that kind of nonsense. If you really liked the video, hit the little bell so that you get your notifications of the future videos when they come out, because I got lots more videos coming out. If you guys like the DJI Mavic videos, I will make more of them. All right, I'm Steve, cutting out. See you in the next video. Later.